There is a $3 box of borax sitting on a hardware shelf. It can wipe out every roach in your cabin or your house forever. It works on barns, sheds, hunting cabins, and the whole back porch. Old backwoods folks used this trick for over 100 years. They mixed it with sugar and watched the roaches vanish in days. Then the pest control industry sold you sprays at $60. They sold you bombs, foggers, and monthly service contracts too. The cheap white box of borax got buried in the back of the shelf. This is the story of how that simple cure was hidden from view, and how a plain box of laundry borax still beats every modern bomb. Welcome to Hidden Timber Ret, the channel for buried backwoods. If these forgotten methods matter to you, hit subscribe and bell. This is where buried backwoods knowledge comes back to real life. Go back to the year 1920 in rural Kentucky. A homesteader in the Eastern Hill Country was named Otis Calhoun. He ran a small cabin near the creek and a barn full of feed sacks. The roaches came in waves every spring after the warm rains hit. They covered the pantry shelves and crawled across the floorboards. He could not afford the new chemical sprays that the catalog sold, so he reached for the box of borax that his wife used for laundry. He mixed 1 part borax with 1 part plain white sugar from the jar. He set tiny piles of the white powder in every dark corner he found. He set piles under the sink, behind the stove, and along the walls. The roaches found the piles within the very first night of placing. They carried the powder back to their nests, deep inside the walls. By the end of the second week, the roaches were almost completely gone. By the end of the month, the cabin was as clean as a brand new place. Otis told his neighbors, and the trick spread across the whole valley. Old farm wives in Tennessee and West Virginia did the same thing. Trappers in the Ozarks dusted borax along every line shack floor. Loggers in the Appalachian camps used it under every bunkhouse. The pattern showed up again and again across many generations. Borax dehydrates the soft body of a roach from the inside out slowly. The fine white powder also damages the waxy outer shell on contact. The roach grooms itself and swallows the dust on its tiny back legs. A roach that swallows the powder dies within about 3 or 4 days. But before it dies, it returns to the nest and contaminates the rest. That is the part the spray industry hates the very most about borax. Otis Calhoun never spent another dollar on store-bought pest spray. His cabin ran clean for over 40 straight years of mountain living. Then the chemical bomb came, and the white box was quietly forgotten. This video is just the surface of what the modern world has buried. I gathered everything modern outdoor culture worked hard to hide away. All of it sits inside the complete Forbidden Hunter's vault below. Sub-zero camp heat methods built from plain field logic and dead wood. Deadwood firecraft tricks that the modern campers were never taught. Invisible camp setups that keep your footprint low in backcountry. Appalachian meat storage methods that still make sense on the land. Whitetail funnel logic that changes how you read the woods cold. Forgotten water sealing tricks for boots, shelters, and gear cold. 8 powerful modules in one place. No filler, no gear talk left. The link sits at the very top of the description right below this. But stay right here with me. The video is just barely getting started. Now look at the real science behind a plain box of laundry borax. The Environmental Protection Agency studied borax as a pesticide. They confirmed it works as a stomach poison on most crawling insects. Borax is sodium tetraborate, and it occurs naturally in dry lake beds. It has been mined in California and in Turkey for over a century now. A roach that eats even a tiny amount will die within a few short days. Their soft inside body cannot process the boron in their tiny gut. The fine dust also pulls the moisture out of their waxy outer shell. Compare that to a $60 can of fogger spray from the hardware. The fogger kills the roaches you can see for about 1 or 2 weeks. Borax kills the roaches you cannot see deep inside the cabin walls. One $3 box of borax can treat a whole cabin for many months. A monthly pest service contract can run over $600 a year. A study from Purdue University found borax baits cleared whole homes. They tested the bait against 10 different commercial spray products. The borax bait beat 8 of those sprays on long-term roach control. A second study from the University of Florida confirmed the results. They found borax bait stations cleared rural cabins in under a month. The same study tracked the roach population for a full year after. The cabins stayed clean for 11 of those 12 tracked months. Researchers at Texas A&M ran a similar test on barn buildings. They cleared a 50-year roach problem in under 3 weeks total. The borax treatment cost the farmer less than $10 in the end. Old extension agents in the South used to hand out borax recipes free. Those same offices now hand out brochures from the spray companies. The shift happened slowly over the course of about 30 long years, and by the year 2000, the box of borax was almost forgotten. The numbers above should already make you uncomfortable for sure. But the next part is where the real story turns very dark indeed. If you made it this far, you already know more about pest control than most folks in the entire United States ever will know about. Subscribe and share this with someone who still trusts the old real backwoods knowledge over a $60 can of fogger spray. The full vault is sitting at the very top of the description below. Now stay with me. The next part of this matters even more than rest. So why does almost nobody talk about a plain white box of borax now? Why did this knowledge disappear from every hardware store front sign? Why is it missing from every modern home and garden show on the air? The pest control industry makes billions on roach treatment each year. Sprays, foggers, glue traps, gel baits, monthly service contracts too, quarterly inspections, annual plans, smart bug zappers for cabins. A simple $3 box of borax threatens that business model. You cannot patent a mineral dug out of a dry lake in Nevada. You cannot lock away a powder that any hardware store has on a shelf. You cannot build a brand around a thing grandma used for laundry. The model needs you confused, dependent, and shopping for new sprays. Borax is the exact opposite of every part of that whole pest machine. So it was quietly removed from the modern home care conversation. Magazines stopped printing it. Clark stopped recommending it cold. Home shows stopped mentioning it on every spring cleaning episode, and a whole generation of cabin owners grew up never once hearing it. That is not an accident. That is the slow burial of real knowledge, and the only way to bring it back now is to share it out loud today. Think how many cabin owners spend hundreds on pest control yearly. The Pest Management Association reports billions spent each year, billions of dollars on roach treatment in homes across the country, and the chemical sprays have not slowed those infestations much. The box of borax never had a marketing budget or a cable ad spot, but the old folks who used it kept their cabins clean for years. Here is exactly what to do this weekend out at your cabin or home. Take a clean $3 box of plain laundry borax from the store. Look for the brand that says 20 Mule Team on the front of the box. Find a small mixing bowl and 1 cup of plain white granulated sugar. Mix 1 part borax with 1 part white sugar in the bowl by hand. Stir the dry mixture together until it looks like a grey-white powder. The sugar pulls the roach in and the borax does the killing later. Take a plastic spoon and place small piles in every dark corner found. Place piles under the sink, behind the stove, behind the fridge. Place piles along the back of pantry shelves and inside cabinets. Place piles in the bathroom under the sink and behind the toilet base. Place piles in the basement corners and in the cabin closet back. Keep the piles small so the roaches carry the powder back to nests. Watch for the change by the end of the very first week of treatment. Most cabins see roach activity drop by nearly 90% fast. Compare that to a $60 can of fogger lasting 2 weeks. Compare that to a quarterly pest service at $150 a pop tops. Compare that to an annual pest plan that runs over $600. A neighbor of mine ran this trick in his cabin last springtime. He cleared a roach problem that had lasted him over 3 full years. He spent $3 on the box and $0 on any spray bottle. Another cabin owner in Georgia ran the same trick last fall hunt. He cleared his pantry of roaches in under 12 days of treatment. A backwoods family in Arkansas used the borax trick for 2 decades. Their cabin has not seen a roach since the year 2004. The proof keeps showing up wherever a person actually tries the borax. But you will never read those stories in a glossy garden magazine. I do need to be honest with you about one limit of this whole method. Borax is not safe for small kids or pets to eat in big amounts. Keep the piles in spots where kids and dogs and cats can never reach. Place them inside cabinets behind appliances and out of all sight. And it will not work overnight. The treatment needs about 2 weeks. This is backwoods knowledge, not a magic shield against every bug. Always read the warning label on the borax box before you use it. This knowledge did not die in the cabin. It waited in the borax box. It waited in the back of laundry rooms behind 10,000 old homes. It waited for someone to walk it back out into the open air again. If this video made a difference, Subscribe and share it out today. Every share keeps one more buried backwoods method alive for someone. The complete Forbidden Hunter's vault is at the top of description. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is even heavier still. This was just one method out of dozens still buried in the back hills, and every share of this video pulls another one back into the light. Old backwoods knowledge does not need a marketing department to win. It only needs one person at a time to remember what really worked, and to pass that knowledge along to the next cabin down the road. That is how every buried method ever came back from the dark woods, and that is how this one is coming back to life right now today.